My God, the journalists have done it. They have achieved the impossible. Who wrote this garbage? Who wrote? Jared. Jared, you are so progressive. You are one step away from achieving HIV. You are just the most progressive person that I have ever had the displeasure of reading an article from. I said that the benefit of doing a game like Elden Ring is that the journalists aren't going to talk about representation. Because the story is very difficult to understand. You see, the game guards its story to its bosom. You have to rip it off from the game in order to understand what the heck is going on. I have finished Elden Ring. I still don't know the story. Like, you have to watch YouTube lore, YouTube videos. It's very difficult to even comprehend the story. So, obviously, the story isn't the main selling point of the game. I mean, it is there, but people don't play Elden Ring because of the story, right? So, to see a journalist complain about the representation in Elden Ring is astonishing. I mean, this is why these people go to gender studies, to educate and enlighten themselves in order to see problematic things everywhere, except within. You know, this actually gives credence to what I've been saying on this channel all along. And I've been talking about how representation is cancer and relatability is king. In other words, creating a relatable character. Like, for example, it can even be whatever race, whatever gender, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But if you show me a character who grows up from abject poverty and then uplifts himself, like Luke Cage, for example. Luke Cage is a black person. But I can relate to Luke Cage a lot more because of his lived experiences and relatability than I can relate to Bogdan from Breaking Bad, which happens to be a Romanian. But according to representation, I should love Breaking Bad because it's got a Romanian character and I'm Romanian. And we relate so much. Okay? Only in the mind of a sick, twisted Californian gender studies university professor can that be the case. No, what people crave for is relatability. Like, tell me a story that I can relate with. And the reason representation is bullshit is because when you create a character that's supposed to represent a demographic, anytime you make the character have a flaw, anytime you make the character evil, what you are saying as a writer is that you think the entire demographic has that flaw or the entire demographic is evil. And here you have Jared making an article talking literally about that. You see, in the game, Mog is this dude which kidnaps a child and feeds him its HIV-infested blood in a way to control that child and then marry the child and become a god. Okay, Mog is not a particularly good character. And this is what the journalist is saying. He's saying that, oh, well, Mog is being the cursed son of a goddess and he devotes himself to an outer god in order to create some blah, blah, blah tree. And because of that, he kidnaps a child in order to become his consort. So this is like an LGBT marriage because it's two men. Oh my God, so progressive. Oh, so Californian. Oh, but, however, the condition and familiar relationship to Mog makes for a set of complicated implications. Oh. To start, Michaela is a child, regardless of how long he has existed as a child. His depiction in game is that he is forever cursed with childhood. And on top of that, Mog stole Michaela away while he was asleep in order to raise him in his image and marry him. The entire situation, whether intended or not, I don't know if it's like whether intended or not. You're a journalist. Why can't you ask the developers? Like, you can literally send them a mail and ask them, is it intended or not? But you're not going to do that because, well, you're a journalist. Is that of a man who wants to force a young boy into marrying him? So, my favorite take is that, number one, they don't really get upset. I mean, if you're going to get offended about a video game, right? Let's get offended properly. Let's get offended properly. It's got pedophilia in it. Like, that would be the main point of concern, the main grievance, the creme de la creme in this video game. I mean, if you're going to get... No, he's upset because it's like, oh, but the LGBTQ plus people, like, what will they think when they play Elden Ring? No one gives a shit, okay? I haven't seen the LGBTQ plus people, some of which are my Patreons, and they're donating money to me, so I can't be that homophobic, but they're not actively being upset about the story of this game. Secondly, I don't think this is supposed to be a good guy. Like, you're supposed to kill him in the game. Like, this is part of the game. You're supposed to take it. He's a bad dude. He's a bad hombre. You're supposed to go there and have a reason why you need to do violence against this individual. You do violence against... So why, in God's name, would you even expect that this would be, oh, well, a good guy? I mean, and by the way, this is Elden Ring, right? So every character does fucked up shit. Almost all the characters in the game are irredeemable in some point. With minor exceptions, but like most of them, shades of grey or very evil. But no, we can't have this character be evil. Why? Because he's LGBT. I mean, he wants to fuck a man. Like, I mean, you can't make him evil. I mean, come on. What would the journalists think? You know, like, what if they wiggle their cheeks and go like... I literally just cannot believe that they have accomplished what I thought is impossible. Alright? Like, very rarely am I proven wrong. This is definitely an example where I have said that they're not going to bully the story from Elden Ring because, well, I thought that they're not going to be able to play it. Honestly. Well, I guess there are the journalists that managed to pass the great filter and they did actually manage to play the game, I assume. Or maybe they watched some YouTube video. Who knows? But the second part is that the story wasn't the one that people go for, and it's so ambiguous. But no, they have managed. Yes, Elden Ring is homophobic because of its poor representation of gay people. I just... No, seriously, if you're a normal person, okay, if you're a normal human being, and you play Elden Ring, and you get to the boss Mog, and you understand the lore and the story, and you see what Mog was trying to do there, are you saying, God damn it, that's what gay people do? Like, does anyone do this? Does anyone think like this? Well, that's because you're not a journalist. See, you're lacking the blue check mark on the Twitter, and then maybe too you can think like that. Holy shit. By the way, this is after FromSoft actually did their best in order to hire Californians, in order to have a little bit more a Western take. And you know, if you played Demon Souls, I mean, there was this guy, the developer, who was very congratulating of himself that, oh, he added black people in the intro cinematic in Demon Souls. And I was like, oh my god, so progressive. Oh, so progressive. Oh! I was impressed to tears. I was like, holy shit, black people in the intro cinematic. Oh my god. But that was not enough. You know, hopefully they can hire more of such people in the next game, like Elden Ring the sequel, because look, they done goofed. Let me know what you guys think though, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.